India has more than 120 million agricultural landholding, and around 86% of Indian farmers are small and marginal. For millions of them, farming is not about just growing crop. The real struggle begins before the crop reaches to the market. Which seed should they buy? Which fertilizer they should use? When should they apply it? What happens when a pest attacks the crop? And after months of work, who will buy it and at what price? A farmer may buy seed from one dealer, fertilizer from another, take advice from a local seller, and sell the harvest through another mediator. Every layer adds a friction, and sometimes the friction becomes expensive. India's post harvest agricultural losses were estimated at around 69 million tons in 2020 and 21. And because India's farms are highly fragmented, individual farmers often have limited bargaining power. The government has tried to digitize parts of the system, but digital market alone cannot solve every problem. Farmers still need someone on the ground, someone who understands crop, the local market, and the farmer. So here is the question: what if one network connects the farmer to everything, right from the seed to the market? That was the idea behind DeHaat. Namaste friends, I'm Rohini and you're watching Fincash.com. Before we begin, I would like to welcome you all to our new segment called Impact Stories. Our new series exploring startup, unsung innovators, businesses, and the ideas that is creating real change in India. This is non-promotional series, just the stories, the impact, and what it means for India. So we need your support, love, and we are here to give you the best. DeHaat began in 2012 with a simple observation. India has millions of farmers, but the ecosystem around them is fragmented. Farmers struggle to access quality inputs, reliable crop advice, and better market. Four IIT and IIM alumni decided to tackle that problem. They didn't start it with an app. They started in villages across Bihar, Odisha, and eastern Uttar Pradesh. They worked directly with farmers, understood their problems, and learned something that technology couldn't create of its own, that is trust. They changed the entire model. Instead of simply putting agriculture online, DeHaat built a hybrid network. Technology at one side and people on the ground on the other side. The DeHaat Center became the local access point for farmers, providing inputs, crop advisory, and connection to institutional buyers. But DeHaat didn't have to build every center itself. It worked with local entrepreneurs who operated these centers. That gave the company local distribution, local knowledge, and existing relationship with the farmer. This mattered because Indian agriculture isn't one marketplace. Different crops, different climates, different languages, and different farming practices. A solution built for Bihar won't automatically work in Maharashtra. So DeHaat built a network that could adapt locally while using technology centrally. Over time, that network added crop data, weather information, pest intelligence, and AI-driven advisory. Today, Niti Aayog describes DeHaat as a full-stack agricultural technology platform combining inputs, AI-enabled advisory, and market linkage. It reports 1.8 million plus farmers served across 12 states, more than 7 million agricultural services, 503 plus FPOs, and 11,000 plus institutional buyers. What began as local farming tech solution became a network connecting farmers to inputs, information, and market. But building network is one thing, turning that network into business is another. This brings to our next segment where we talk about the business behind DeHaat. So how does DeHaat actually make money? It works around different parts of agriculture value chain. First is agriculture inputs. DeHaat provides seeds, fertilizers, crop protection products, and other farm inputs through its network of local entrepreneurs. Then come farm produce. After farmers harvest their crop, DeHaat aggregates the produce and connects it with the buyers. It's B2B business, that is Farm Plus supplies produce to institutional buyers, and Nest Farms sell produce direct to the consumers. At the time of the reference analysis, produce sales made up to around 70% of DeHaat's revenue. There are also other revenue streams. DeHaat earns commission from facilitating farmers' loan, advertising and promotions of agricultural companies, and fees from agricultural advisory services. So the model is very straightforward. Sell inputs to farmers, collect their produce, connect it to the buyers, and provide additional services around the farmer. The local entrepreneur is an important part of this model. DeHaat doesn't have to operate every village center itself. The local entrepreneurs provide the connection with the farmers, while DeHaat provides the technology, products, and market network. This allows the company to expand its reach without building the entire last mile network itself. But agriculture is a difficult business. Crop prices change, weather can destroy crops, margins can be thin, and serving millions of small farmers across different states is expensive. So, our next question is, how big has DeHaat actually become? Now let's look at the numbers. In FY25, DeHaat reported around 3010 crore in operating revenue, about 12% higher than the previous year. Its annual revenue run rate had reached around 4,000 crores, and DeHaat is no longer focused only in Indian market. It was exporting to 32 markets, including Europe and Southeast Asia. Export revenue was around 430 crores in FY25. The company was targeting nearly 300 crore in the following financial year. Now comes profitability. DeHaat reported 369 crores in net profit in FY25. But the biggest story here is the scale of its network. The company that started by working with farmers in eastern India is now operating across 12 states, serving around 1.8 million farmers and connecting them to the thousands of buyers. From a local farming initiative, DeHaat has grown into business generating thousands of crores in annual revenue. That's a significant transformation. But these numbers tells us about reach and scale. They don't tell us about what's changed for the farmers on ground. And that's where we need to separate reach from the impact. Let us look about the impact in the next segment. In 2025 alone, DeHaat connected more than 15 lakh tons of farm produce to the market. DeHaat is also moving closer to consumers. Through Honest Farms, its consumer-facing food business, DeHaat sources agriculture products and sell them under its own brand. So the model is expanding from supplying the farmers to helping grow the crop to connecting it with buyers and in some categories, taking the product closer to the final consumers. That gives DeHaat a presence across more parts of agriculture value chain. But there is an important reality check. An independent study of 80 farmers across 2 districts in Bihar found that DeHaat improved farmers' access to genuine agriculture inputs, but also identified gaps in the procurement and supply chain model. And that distinction matters. Access is not same as impact. Better advice doesn't automatically mean higher income. Connecting a farmer to a buyer doesn't automatically mean a better price. And the experience can vary depending on the crop, region, farm size and market. There are also problems beyond the reach of any one startup. It is credit, irrigation, storage, insurance, price volatility, weather shocks. These require infrastructure, institution, policy, and multiple businesses working together. So the interesting part of DeHaat's story isn't that one startup can solve Indian agriculture. It is that technology, local networks, and organized markets can remove some of the friction farmer faces. And that gives us glimpses of what a connected agriculture system could look like. But the larger transformation still has a long way to go, and DeHaat can be the start of that. India's agriculture problem isn't just production, it is a system around the farmer. A farmer can grow a crop and still lose money because inputs are expensive, storage is poor, markets are far away, or bargaining power is weak. India's next agricultural transformation must go from seed to sale. Better inputs, better information, irrigation, better storage, better finance, and better market access. And technology can connect these pieces. Startups can build new models. Government can build infrastructure and policy. Farmers' organization can strengthen their bargaining power. But none works alone. The real transformation happens when they all work together hand in hand. And that's the bigger lesson from stories like DeHaat. India needs a system where farmers capture more of the value they create, because the future of Indian agriculture won't be measured by the number of startups, the amount of technology, or the size of investments. It will be measured by the strength of the farmers, and that's the story we will keep exploring through impact stories. So stay tuned for our next video.